Yeah! What's up everyone, welcome back to the Purple Garage, and today we're working back on Deep Orange 3. I've started this video like 3 times over the past 6 months, and each time we've run into a problem and we've had to go work on Deep Orange 9 or do something different. So the state we left this car in was we'd gotten it running and driving for the first time in over 10 years, and we were having some issues with the battery and alternator. We discovered that whenever they built the car, they never actually hooked up the alternator, so it was never generating any electricity for us. What their plan was with that, we have no idea, but we drove around for like a week, and then suddenly it wouldn't start, and then we were kind of beached. So what we did is we've just been running on the battery charger from then on out. We've been trying to work on the alternator, and we've been using signals and talking to ChatGPT and trying to figure out like how can we trick the alternator just in sort of like a dumb mode into making some electricity for us. And we did, and the minute we got the alternator to start up, the engine just absolutely died. So we tried to open the ECU and see like, hey, can we like raise the amount of fuel that we give it idle? We found out the ECU has a password on it.
Okay, it's kind of a sad day. Well, maybe not. We have to kill this car in order for it to rise from the ashes. Here's our nice circa 2012 Windows Vista software, and it's asking us for a password to the ECU, which we don't know, despite all of our best efforts to find it.
So whenever they built this car, like the last thing they did is they said, nobody's ever going to work on this again, it's perfect. And we had to work on it again because it wasn't perfect. So we were left with 2 options. One was to try to find what the password was, and the other was to completely wipe the ECU and start over. So we completely wiped the ECU. It was a sad day.
So we're going to hit this other button down here that says clear calibration. And then we're going to have a moment of silence. Are you sure? Sadly, yes.
Yes.
We had been told by somebody at AEM that makes the software that it was pretty easy to set up. We just run through the setup wizard, we get a new calibration in no time, it'd be no problem. But we worked on it for a few hours and the car still won't start. So the goal for today is to figure out how the software works and try to get the car to start up again. And then maybe we can hook up the alternator in. Alright, it is yet another new day. I've lost count of the number of times we said we're working on this car, but we're still working on it. We've talked to some people around here, and we think part of the problem of why it was just backfiring and backfiring last time is that we weren't injecting enough fuel on startup. There could also still be issues with the timing. The software is really confusing, and our understanding of what sensors we actually have, we don't entirely trust. So we might have to work on the timing in the software a little bit, but we have some things to try. So maybe we'll start, maybe not. I'm not in the business of saying it will anymore, because we've been working on it for far too long for that, but hopefully so. Okay, so it's still not running, but we've tried a couple things and we have a better idea of what's wrong. The first thing we tried was we pulled all of the injector wires and we sprayed starter fluid into the intake to see if it would run on the starter fluid, which would tell us that it was sparking at the right time. And it would not run on the starter fluid. It still just backfired, which means it's not an injector / spark timing problem. It seemed to point to a generic spark timing problem or the spark plugs being all messed up. And since it was running before we wiped the ECU, we figured the spark plugs were at least good enough to run. So we pulled them out, and they look pretty terrible, but they are functional. We tested each one of them on the head, and we also filmed a cell phone video, which we'll put in this video so you can see. But we filmed down into the engine, and we had the spark plug in the frame, and you could see that the spark plug was firing when the piston was at the bottom of its travel, not the top, which is not what we want. So we still have some sort of major timing issue. So unfortunately, I think it's back to the user manual for us. Okay, spark plugs are back in because we filmed a couple more videos which we'll put on the screen, and now it looks like we're sparking at top dead center instead of bottom dead center. We messed with a couple timing things, checked some timing parameters based on the manual, so we're hopeful. So we're going to try to start it, plug everything back in and see what happens, but who knows? Alright, it runs, which is awesome. So it turns out we have been sparking at the very end of the expansion stroke in the engine. So we moved it to top dead center, and apparently we moved it to the wrong top dead center. So then we were sparking between the gas exchange process. So we shifted another 180 degrees, and then lo and behold, she runs great. Okay, so we got it running, and we did some investigation of the alternator, but no one day can be too successful. So we think the ECU is not actually capable of talking to the alternator like we thought it was. But for now, we'll drive it back around and we'll figure that out another day. Thanks for watching. Oh, that's bad for the video.
You're gonna have to What's going on, guys? My name is Colin, and I'm the new team leader for the DO3 project. We got back into the software today, trying to figure out what was wrong with her and why she wouldn't idle. And we've ended up finding out a new fact that apparently the degrees in the tuning software, when you put positive, it's talking about before top dead center. We kind of figured that it was going to be, -10 is 10 degrees before top dead center, but we have now gotten her running. Thank you guys so much for watching. We got a lot done with this car. For the first time in several months, she is finally running and she is drivable. We do have some more things that we are going to need to look into. The alternator is still not charging properly, and we might have an issue with the brakes that we're going to have to look into in the next coming weeks. But a lot of exciting stuff coming for this car, and along with our other projects, we do want to announce we have a full LS4 engine rebuild that we're going to be doing over the next couple months, and we should have a video out pretty soon about that. And DO9 is pretty much track ready. We got her tires in, we got the fuel pump switched out, so that car should be able to hit the track pretty soon, and we'll definitely be making a video about that. But as of right now, it's been a productive day. Please like, comment, and subscribe on the video, and we'll see you next week in the Purple Garage.